The silence of the forest felt alive. Every rustle, every gust of wind through the fallen leaves carried something sinister, lurking in the depths. Alexei stopped the car by an ancient castle, surrounded by dense forest, and looked at the crumbling walls. This place had attracted him long ago when he was still a child. He often heard legends about this cursed location. The castle, according to rumors, was the dwelling place of some kind of evil that no one had ever been able to define. Now, many years later, when he was offered a contract to restore this ruin, he felt a strange pull toward it. Working here alone, it seemed like a challenge. Of course, he could use help, but his deep desire to uncover the mystery outweighed any doubts. His footsteps crunched on the gravel in the cool air. Alexei stepped inside. The vast halls were almost empty, but still retained their former grandeur. High ceilings with remnants of frescoes, long corridors leading to dark rooms hiding their secrets. The sense of time here was distorted. The past and present blended together. After a few days, Alexei noticed oddities. His tools would suddenly be found in places other than where he had left them. At night, he heard footsteps in the castle, although no one but him was supposed to be there. At first, he chalked it up to fatigue or his nerves, but as the silence of the castle grew heavier and more palpable, his confidence began to erode. One night, closer to midnight, Alexei woke up from a sudden cold that filled the room. He got up from the bed and went to the door leading to the long dark corridor. The silence in the house was almost absolute, but somewhere far away, deep within the castle, a faint sound echoed. A quiet whisper. The whisper called him. The tone was soothing, almost mesmerizing, like the voice of a mother comforting her child. Alexei ... The whisper came softly but clearly from the darkness. He froze, his heart beating faster. He knew that there couldn't be anyone else in the castle, but someone was calling him by name. Slowly, he walked toward the sound, his footsteps echoing off the stone walls. The whisper grew louder, becoming more distinct. When Alexei approached one of the long abandoned rooms, he felt an icy wind, even though the windows were tightly shut. The door in front of him creaked open, and he stepped inside. In the center of the room stood an ancient bed, covered with layers of dust. At the foot of the bed, he saw the silhouette of a woman in a long dark dress. She stood with her back to him, her long hair cascading over her shoulders, obscuring her face. The whisper came from her. Alexei ... The woman repeated softly and slowly turned her head toward him. Her face was pale, her eyes empty, like bottomless pits. For a moment he thought her lips moved, but then she vanished, as if dissolved into the air. Alexei stepped back sharply, his mind refusing to believe what had just happened. But the sense of someone's presence lingered. This place wasn't just an abandoned castle. It held dark secrets that no one had mentioned in the old legends. He returned to his room but couldn't sleep. The whisper didn't come again, but the feeling of being watched grew stronger. The next day, he decided to conduct his own investigation. In the castle's ancient library, he found old records, diaries that told of a curse hanging over the castle. As it turned out, the castle had once belonged to Count Vorontsov, who, in his later years, became fascinated with black magic and the occult. The family's secrets hidden within these walls were tied to his experiments in summoning spirits, in his attempts at immortality. And perhaps on that fateful day, he summoned something that should never have been called. From that moment on, Alexei started noticing more and more strange occurrences. Shadows in the corners of the rooms, rustling sounds, footsteps. Sometimes he saw the reflection of that woman in mirrors. She didn't come closer but constantly watched him. At some point, Alexei realized he hadn't left the castle in several days. He tried to leave, but each time he found himself back in the same place, as if the walls moved, shifted. The labyrinth of stone wouldn't let him go. Time lost its meaning. Days blended into nights. One evening, he heard the whisper again. This time he wasn't alone. Other voices joined it, hundreds, thousands. They all called out to him, begging for release. Alexei understood that he was just another victim, lured here like many before him. He couldn't leave the castle, and he couldn't stay. The only way out, as he saw it, was to dive deeper into the mysteries of this place, to find the source of the evil and try to destroy it. But with each passing day, his mind grew clouded, losing the line between reality and illusion. Soon, Alexei discovered a hidden room, concealed behind one of the old paintings. Inside, he found a strange altar adorned with old skulls and charred candles. At its center lay a book bound in leather, and next to it a centuries-old dagger covered in the dust of ages. The book contained spells and instructions for a ritual that was supposed to end the castle's curse. But the price was too high. The final line read, "To free the souls, you must become one of them." Alexei stood at a crossroads. He had to decide either remain a prisoner of this place, slowly losing his sanity, or sacrifice himself to free all those cursed within these walls. The whispers grew louder, now swelling into a rising chorus. The voices would not leave him in peace. They demanded a decision.